Okay, thank you, Dr. Yoshikawa. Now I'd like to start the final session for discussion. And this discussion session deals with our WENDI policy. It was circulated to your bag, conference envelope, and it is only one seat. And we used both sides of the one seat. Okay. And it says policies of the UNESCO Chair WENDI. So far, we were not finalized our structure of our curriculum and our international cooperation research project. So today, I'd like to make sure what is our policy of our UNESCO Chair WENDI. And based on your experiences in UNESCO centers and the UNESCO chairs, I'd like to ask you your kind suggestion to amend our draft of UNESCO Chair WENDI's policy. And this policy has several parts, actually 5 parts. The first part is principal, general, fundamental, or basic policy. And second part, number 1 is admission policy. Number 2 is curriculum policy. Number 3 is research policy. And number 4 is international contribution policy. I think some of the UNESCO chairs and the UNESCO centers have their own policy. And I like to have your ideas to improve our draft policy of WENDI. Okay, and now I'd like to invite my colleague Dr. Sayama and Dr. Yoshikawa to manipulate the sentences based on your suggestions. Okay. So I don't know which is the most appropriate, principal policy or general policy or fundamental policy or basic policy. So I hope some natives or international point of view, please recommend us which is better, or some other words may be better. And objective of the UNESCO Chair on Water, Energy and Disaster Management for Sustainable Development, WENDI, Kyoto University, is to foster human resources with knowledge, superior technique, and vision to address a challenge to all mankind, to reduce or mitigate risks of global scale and tackle problems. Valuing independent self-learning by students, WENDI aims to establish a systematic and interdisciplinary education and research for sustainable development, implement Japan's first higher education and research for sustainable development, HESD program, which will contribute to achieve the SDGs. WENDI administers a solid certificate program with guaranteed quality through collaborative education and research with distinguished researchers and instructors from the United Nations, international organizations, other UNESCO chairs and centers, governmental organizations, universities, research institutions, and private enterprises. I don't know, this is a little bit longer, but and I think this United Nations should be UN agencies, I think. Not only United Nations, UN agencies is better to include UNESCO and some others. And if you have any suggestions, please. Okay, Dr. Zalewski. So microphone is coming.
Well, I think this is brilliant, but it's one point which probably a little bit more clarification. Huh? Because I think reading this is a very short statement only that mission is reduce, mitigate, risk, global scale, tackle problem. And it's lack of the explanation, what is the difference, what people were doing this way now, and this center, why is unique. Huh? And it probably is necessary today by integration of knowledge, water, energy, and so on. Huh? And I think this is critical for this
Thank you.
Mission is the integration of knowledge and generate innovative solution.
Yes. So the reason why UNESCO Chair WENDI has various fields, water, energy, and disaster management, as well as the food and the forest ecosystems and climate change and data sciences. So as you know, as you said at your presentation, integration is very important. And the Professor Koike asked me what is how we can focus on some thematic issues or something like that, but to integrate our knowledge.
Because in the title are 3 elements.
Yes.
This will be explanation why these 3 elements are so important and unique that putting together.
Yeah.
Nobody before was trying to put.
Okay.
Sometimes we're talking about the water, energy, and so on, but nobody was clearly said we are putting together this element to generate some new insight to the problem and new methodology.
Okay. So I think it may take some time to amend your point, but I'll take note your points and we include your suggestion why we are going to integrate the water, energy, and disaster management. So any other suggestions? Professor Koike, please.
Yeah, very similar to the comment. You focus on the to reduce, mitigate risk of global scale and tackle problems. So you are going to address only negative issue, but not create a positive value. I think you had better include something. So as well as this tackle and also the create.
Okay.
Something.
Okay, thank you very much. I think it's very good idea to include something positive. Yeah. So any other suggestions? Yes, please. Use microphone, please.
When you note about achieving the SDGs, this means the UN SDG goal, the 16. Mm-hmm. But actually, now I think under SDG it should be under each country or each regional development concept, something like that. It's not the target is the goal is goal, but actually there are certain environment in each area maybe differ.
Okay.
I don't know if we can
include the UN before SDGs.
If you mention UN, but after that it should be under certain environment or something like that.
SDGs の前に UN を、例えばちょっとつけてみましょうか。
UN is UN.
スペースを空けたらいいと思います。
That one,
how do you like this?
That is okay. More sorry, but achieving goal it should be under something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So each country may have their own SDGs.
Yeah.
So this is a basic UN SDGs proposed by UN in the year 2015. So any other suggestions? Okay, Dr. Yamashiki, please.
Sorry for I have not submitted the proposal, but following the suggestion from Dr. Koike, I would like to include the word as a knowledge hub of water and energy and disaster or something, because if you include like knowledge hub something, that means you will collect the best practice example and also the bad practice example. So you can not only the negative term, but you can collect most of the information related to. And if you could include, because not only the SDG, but we will provide something, successful example or the not successful example, by including the term.
Okay, thank you very much. So any other suggestions? Okay, so considering the time, remaining. So I'd like to go to the next page, please. So this is admission policy. Each graduate school should have such admission policy. And this is a kind of educational program. And we are inviting students to take one of the courses WENDI providing. So this is a general admission policy for WENDI. And amongst graduate students belonging to Kyoto University, hereinafter KU, WENDI welcomes those with strong interest in engaging in interdisciplinary activities beyond their own expertise, as well as working along international frameworks. A part of WENDI's curriculum is open for undergraduate students to register and/or audit. Yes, please.
Is it open also to international students who does not belong to Kyoto University? So, for example, can someone from outside Kyoto University from another country take 1 or 2 credits using one module from WENDI?
Okay, so the other university students also can join the WENDI's program.
After, I don't know if physically it's possible.
Our idea is something like that. So we don't limit to Kyoto University students only.
Thank you. Excuse me. To follow up on the previous comment, and in the spirit of lifelong learning, would these programs be also open to people who are not currently enrolled in a university program?
Did you understand? Okay. Non-university students or non-university participants or trainees or practitioners or engineers, anybody can join. Okay, yes, please.
Sorry, maybe it's not the moment because it's a bit a technical question, but in the sense of, because we asked maybe non-student or student from other university, do you have already an idea how the courses will be provided? Will it be, for example, you have one topic that will be held every week, once a week, or do you have very concentrated courses, so one particular topics for 2 or 3 weeks? Like this, the people can come for 3 weeks, take the credit for this course, and then maybe go back to their activities if they are worker, or go back to their country if they are foreigners. On a long term, it's maybe more difficult to have such kind of approach.
So traditional subject unit, students should take a classroom for 15 weeks. So it's very difficult for outsiders from Kyoto University. So from time to time, we organize intensive courses. Then, so those people can take part of our WENDI educational program. Yes, Professor Mikos, please.
You've mentioned that students can stay longer and do, let's say, half of it, or not just a few weeks like practitioners. What do you think about the role of mentorship, mentors? There are no professors mentioned, no mentors, so everyone is quite freely to adjust or to come along and pick up. Do you think for students taking the majority of the education here, that they should need some kind of a guidance? So maybe we should mention somewhere that. Okay. Of course I can, because for our graduate students, for quite some doctoral studies, we ask kind of a letter of intention why he wants to study, 1 page, and maybe idea about the thesis. I know this is only maybe 10-20% is meant to go through the whole course, but definitely somewhere this can be mentioned a bit.
Okay. Thank you very much. So regular students have their own supervisors, but the supervisors, even supervisors, don't know the concept of WENDI exactly. So we need some mentor or somebody who taking care of students' activities in the framework of WENDI. So it's a very good suggestion. I'd consider such system.
Thank you. Under
Yes.
the basic policy, the first
Yeah.
one, second
Okay.
line it did mention about students. Okay. And under your admission policy, you did stress on the non-university or practitioners. If you go like that, I would say that the first basic policy should go for Center of Excellence instead of Knowledge Hub. That's why you have to bring now to different platform. If you want to go for practitioners, it becomes Center of Excellence. Just university level for students only, they become Knowledge Hub and similar center like that. See, so there are two types of hubs or centers you have to establish. Which one which? See, because the words looks like it go for students rather than for researchers. See, or for non-researchers or practitioners. So you better think which line, which threshold we are going to after this. Okay, that's my comment.
Thank you very much. So we'll discuss this matter later on with our co-chairs. So go back to second part. I mean admission policy. Any further? Yes, please.
This is just a question. With regard to the Kyoto University credit system, maybe very strict, I suppose. So that's why the credit and non-credit, some clarification may be necessary.
Yes.
I think it's the internal university regulation. That's why please follow the regulation, and then such a system as wide as possible. Of course, the ideal, but under that limitation, please made a good system.
Thank you very much. So for regular students, it's easier, but for other non-regular students, participants, we need some regulation or clarification, how to take credit, how to participate in the classroom, and how we can issue the certificate at the end of the curriculum. We'll discuss this matter. So for regular graduate school students, it's easier. So any other? Okay. So let's go to next part, curriculum policy. Curriculum policy, the WENDI's KU model of HESD program requires registered students to acquire interdisciplinary knowledge by recognizing and locating problems, understanding how the world have grappled with the problems and exploring measures to solve them. To meet standards for completion of a course of WENDI, each student will need to attain credit requirements designated by respective courses, including field training, and demonstrate principles scholarly knowledge of water, energy, and disaster management in addition to his or her own disciplinary and areas of expertise. When these students are free to change a course of their choice along their study. So any suggestions? Because part of this should be modified based on the discussion done so far.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Takara sensei. So yes, regarding the water issues and the environmental issues and disaster issues, we can find problem on the ground in the local field. To considering about it, so I appreciate the curriculum should be the practical level to find solution to solve such a problem on the ground. And so second point is I appreciate to find to find a solution or such an actual problem. I appreciate to find somewhere to educate leader to solve such a problem. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. So this is the part of curriculum, but yes, we'd like to have some education program for solving actual problems, but yes, okay, so here we take note, and we will discuss later on to modify to include your suggestion. So any other comments? Okay, let's go to next part because of the limitation of time. Research policy. This is the part. Okay, with its mission to foster internationally oriented individuals with global bird's-eye vision, or view or conception, the KU model of HESD program makes the best use of the UNESCO's field sites, geoparks, biosphere reserves, world cultural heritage, world natural heritage sites, as well as the KU's field sites and overseas stations. This strategy is designed to cultivate internationally minded students as they deepen knowledge by gaining experiences in dealing with actual problems in the field sites and engaging in international collaborative research with researchers in and out of Kyoto University. Any suggestions, please?
Maybe the blanket 2 and blanket 3, some common point. In this case, the research policy, you identify the field or some some place. But I think my most attractive point is that you have a lot of the discipline, the collaborative, interdisciplinary collaborative possibility. So I want to collaborate with Yoden Sensei, for example, and I want to apply my model with couple with the agriculture model. Such kind of the benefit for the interdisciplinary study, education, research, both may be emphasized.
Yes, your point is lacking here. Yeah. Okay, missing here. Thank you very much. Yes, please, Mr. Peter Wells.
Thank you. I think there may be some value in including not only just international collaborative research with researchers in and out of KU, but perhaps also with respective NGOs and even the private sector.
Okay, thank you very much. So nowadays it is strongly recommended to have partners outside of the university. So any other suggestions? Okay, for now we conclude this, and next, international contribution policy. WENDI will develop and offer a short-term UNESCO chair training program to students and researchers from developing countries and promote dialogue between them and WENDI's program students. Applying UNESCO's network, WENDI promotes spreading and sharing of information on educational and research activities and results, outcome or achievement, including educational materials.
You have mentioned on the developing countries. Does UNESCO usually using the words for social corporations and SIDs also? Maybe we can add social corporations and SIDs.
Okay. So nowadays, not only developing countries, there are some other categories, and also we need such South-South and North-South cooperation, of course, important. Yes, please.
So in this paragraph, there's the word students, and then in the section number 3, there's the word individuals. Who are those people? They are students, undergraduates, so including master and PhD students, and researcher, I suppose. Do you include masters in the research part? So can those masters do internship in a foreign country or things like this? Is there potential funding for such kind of thing, or is it just PhD student or postdoc or researchers that are included in this research aspect?
So basically, we invite master program students and PhD students. And also postdocs can join this program. And many others are also welcome, basically. Okay, so we will modify all the 4 parts. And let's come back to the first part. Which terminology is most appropriate? Principal policy or general policy or basic policy? We are wondering which is the most appropriate. Any suggestions? Oh, voting. Oh. Okay, there are 4 candidates: principal policy, or general policy, or fundamental policy, or basic policy. So who think principal is the best? Please raise hands. How many? Can you count the number of hands? 4. And how about the general policy? This may be majority. So you are strongly recommending. And fundamental policy? Nobody. And the basic policy? 1. So this is a general policy. Okay, as kind of preamble of our other 4 policies. So we'll take this general policy in the first paragraph. Dr. Stapa, do you have something?
Yes, based on our experience related to category 2 center of UNESCO, basically in general policy should add some phrase related to in line with UNESCO policy, something like that, yeah. Because during our periodic evaluation, we should convince that what we do is in line with UNESCO policy, something like that.
Yeah, because we are UNESCO chair.
Exactly.
So. Okay.
So don't forget to mention this.
So we need some UNESCO spirits in our general policy. Okay, thank you very much for your... Yes, we... So Peter is here, he may recommend something. Okay, so any other suggestion in our policy? Thank you very much for your discussions.
Sorry, I'm not sure about, but in this the general policy, it's saying to the Japan's first HESD. I implement Japan's first higher educational research and sustainable development HESD. Is this actually the first? I don't know, but it is very. So honestly, I don't know.
So we will read higher education. Okay.
That's kind of what.
First, I don't know. Reading. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was also, I was wondering, first, ちょっと言い過ぎかなと気がしてます。Okay. Any other suggestions? Okay, thank you very much. We will modify our policies and we'll send a final draft to you and for your further amendment. Okay. Thank you very much. It's already time to finish. And Yoshikawa-san, okay. Thank you very much for your kind discussion. Thank you very much.